Hey, I am coming to you from inside of my SaunaBox Solara, and today I want to tell you the truth about the SaunaBox Solara. Now, this video is in mostly response to a video I saw from Matt Justice, a fellow YouTuber who makes sauna reviews, and some of his viewers had asked him questions about the SaunaBox Solara. However, he does not actually own one, so he answered the questions based on what he saw from the website. I do, however, own one, and I've had it now for over a month, and I use it daily. So one of the questions I saw in the comment section was, does SaunaBox pay influencers to make these videos? So SaunaBox did send me this sauna for free to make a video. That being said, they don't tell me what to say. They don't ask me to include anything. They just send me the sauna and say, here's a sauna for you to make a video. And they've done this with all of the saunas that I have gotten from them. So while they don't pay me, they do offer me the ability to make money through an affiliate code. So that saves you money and it helps make me money. That being said, SaunaBox actually has sent me a product before that I did not make a video on because I didn't like it. The truth is, I don't want you to waste any of your money buying anything that you saw from me. So if I review something, I think that it is actually worth the money, and I think that it is a good value for your money. So I do think that the SaunaBox Solara is a great sauna. I love this sauna, and that's why I made a video on it. So another question they had is, does the SaunaBox Solara look as good as it does on the website in real life? Well, the truth is, yes, it looks as good on the website as it does in real life. I think the SaunaBox Solara is the most beautiful infrared sauna I have seen. I've looked at a lot of them on the internet, and it really is as beautiful as it looks like on the website. I think it looks fantastic in my bedroom, and I think it would look great anywhere in your house. The next thing is the temperature. SaunaBox states that it does get up to 150 degrees, and I found that mine gets up to exactly 150 degrees. Now, the warm up time can take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to reach that max temperature. That being said, you can start it up, get in it within 10 minutes, and you'll start to sweat pretty quickly. It doesn't even have to reach the full temperature for you to begin to sweat. That's just the way infrared works. You set in there, you absorb the heat, you start to sweat. I've had a sauna that only get up to 110 degrees and was infrared, and I was still able to sweat in it. So when it comes to the temperature, it does reach the max stated temperature. Now, another question I often get is, does the SaunaBox Pulse get hotter than the SaunaBox Solara? And if you don't know, the SaunaBox Pulse is a pop-up tent style infrared sauna from SaunaBox. And yes, it says that it gets up to 160 degrees. I found that mine gets up to 160 degrees plus. I've had it in my garage when it was 90 degrees, and it has gotten up to 165, almost 170 degrees when it's that hot in my garage. Now, when it's about 70 in my garage, it typically does get around 160 degrees. So the SaunaBox Pulse does get about 10 degrees hotter than the SaunaBox Solara. That being said, it's a 10 degrees difference. It's a little noticeable, but overall not that noticeable and really not that big of a difference. But it does get hotter than the SaunaBox Solara. Now, I do think that the Solara is much more comfortable to set in because it does have the wooden bench, where the SaunaBox Pulse just has that canvas bench. And that being said, my canvas bench, after a while, actually started to break, so I had to switch it out and put a little wooden chair in there. And it's just not as comfortable as the Solara, but it still is a very good sauna. And in my opinion, it is the best infrared sauna under $1,000. And when it comes to the red light therapy panel, the Solara definitely has that beat. The red light therapy panel in the Solara is much nicer than the two bars that are in the Pulse. One thing that I've really liked about the Solara, my wife is a distance runner and she does suffer from plantar fasciitis. She's found that the red light panel in the Solara has been the only thing that has been effective in helping her plantar fasciitis. She puts her foot up to that each time she goes in here, and it is an almost immediate relief after she gets out. It makes a huge difference. So from that perspective, I have found that the red light therapy panel in the Solara is very effective. Another thing that Matt mentioned was the panel placement. He said he really liked the panel placement, and the only criticism he had was that there was not one on the floor. I agree. I really like the panel placement in here. It is a great amount of coverage, and actually being a panel not on the floor, I prefer. Now, my previous sauna that I had one on the floor, and the thing that I found was you sweat and it falls down on that panel and you have to clean it up. The protective covering on that panel would actually start to come up a little bit every time I cleaned it. So I prefer not to have one on the panel because I think that the sweat actually damages it and it's very difficult to clean. The floor on here, however, is very easy to clean. So I do prefer not to have it on the floor for that reason. Having it on the floor is nice to put your feet on, but I do think that it can actually reduce the life of your sauna in most of them, depending on how those panels are designed. So next, let's talk about the safety. So from my meter, I found that the SaunaBox Solara was really low EMF. It was near zero most places that I checked. That being said, the prior sauna that I had was not low EMFs and it had much higher EMF. I don't notice a difference between the two when I set in them. Most people probably aren't sensitive to EMFs, so I don't think it will be a big deal for most people. The SaunaBox Solara is safe in that regard because the meter showed that it was near zero most places. But I really don't think that that is something that's a make or break when you buy a sauna, because I used to use the one with the high EMF all the time and I didn't notice anything different. Now, a criticism that I do have for the Solara is the panel can be a little bit slow, especially when you're getting in it and you want to change the time and the temperature. It can take a little bit of time to get it to the max on both. I'd like to be able to hold the button down for 3 seconds and it immediately go to the max. That's how my prior one was, and I wish this one was that way. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a little slower than I'm used to. Overall though, the panel is very nice. I feel like that it will hold up for a while. The buttons on it are not the kind that can wear out. It is a solid button. So I think from that perspective, that's a very nice design. It also does have the integrated Bluetooth in it, so you can connect the device and listen to it. And it has a radio, so if you get in it and didn't connect your device, you can just scroll through the radio and find something on the radio. Overall, though, I think that the SaunaBox Solara is a great sauna. I love the way it looks. It's a great fixture in the house, and I think you will get years and years of benefit from it. I would have been happy if I actually spent my own money on this sauna. Of the 6 saunas I own, the SaunaBox Solara is my favorite sauna. It is currently the one that I use all the time. I hardly ever use the other ones. Every once in a while, I'll get them out, I'll try them, I'll see if they are as I remembered, and then I always go back to the Solara because it is the one that I found to be the best. So there you have it. That is the truth on the Solara from my perspective, having owned it for a month. Hopefully I answered every question that you may have. If you do have another question, though, be sure to drop it below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. I'll also put my affiliate link down there if you're interested in buying one of these. It will save you a little bit of money and bring that cost down. All right, well, that's all I have for you in this one. I'll see you in the next one.